welcome to another CAD clip series. In here we're using Revit 2013, which has our architecture, structure, and MEP all wrapped up into one application. We're going to talk about something called view types. You know, we can have door types and window types, and we have all of our types that we've been working with families and stuff. We have our categories and we have our families, and then we have different types, but we don't really think of views as types. I mean, we organize our project browser by view type, but view types have always been kind of factory set. You can't make a furniture floor plan, or you can't make, a lighting ceiling plan. What you do is you make a ceiling plan and then you name it something else, but it's not really a type. And you've been able to make duplicate elevation view types, and that's why this says building elevation, and that's why this says section building section. This is a variation of a regular section. So this is kind of like when you make a view type, which we're going to talk about. It still has to be categorized as a section view type, or an elevation view type, or a floor plan view type. But it will be grouped in here differently if you sort by group. And then, of course, the objective is to take this new view type and then apply these great new view template settings to that view. So let's just give an example here. Let's go to a floor plan in this particular file, and this comes with Revit out of the box, and this particular file is called RAC Basic Sample Project, and those are with the sample projects that come with your installation. So if we just open up a level 1, it looks like this. That's just the way it happens to be. Let's just have a look around. There's level 2. Looks different. Okay. Level 3, site plan. Okay, so these are just floor plans is what they are. Okay, so now what happens is when you go up to the view and you say, I want to make a new plan view, and you say floor plan, and you look on this list, you'll see there's only one type, and that's the way it's always been. We always pick this and we look, and it's like, yeah, nothing there. It's just one floor plan type. Okay, but we can go in and we can duplicate this view, or we can actually do some changes over here. Okay, so I'm just going to take a step back and hit cancel. Let's go back to this one. Okay, and what happens is this, we click in here, and this is our, make sure we're in here, and then we go over here and say edit type. So this has always been available. We can go in here and say edit type. Okay, so from in here, what there wasn't before was this duplicate button. Okay, it was actually grayed out. You could do it in elevations, and I believe, but not in floor plans and not in 3D views. And now you can pretty much, this duplicate button really is the new feature, in that you can duplicate this and create a new floor plan type. Watch, I'm going to say duplicate, and I'm just going to call it floor plan, color scheme. Because really that's what it's doing. It's applying a color scheme. So I hit OK, and look what happens. Now I have a floor plan, this type, and I have a floor plan of this type. And each one, lo and behold, can have a different view template applied to it, so that when you create a new plan, it simply takes on the properties of that particular template file. So that's the final step. So then we would go in here and say none, and then we would create a new one from here. Okay, or I should say duplicate, and we can go in and say duplicate on here, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Okay, I'm just going to hit cancel on here. So I'm going to leave it as in I've duplicated a floor plan view, and this is a new view type. Okay, but it's still going to be categorized as a floor plan with almost like I don't want to say a subtype, but it's going to be grouped with the floor plans. But it's called color scheme. Now watch, I hit OK, and all of a sudden what happens is in my project browser, because my project browser is sorting by view type, and let's review that. On our view tab, let's go over here and go to our project browser. Okay, and it says it's grouped by all, in which case we can't actually go in and see what it's doing, but it is grouping it by type. Let's change our browser to say by discipline, because this one is editable. So if I go in here, it's going to go by discipline, by family and type, and then by view name down here in the sorting. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK on that. I'm going to make that my current and hit OK. It's going to resort my project browser, and it's going by discipline, so it's going by the discipline architecture and then coordination in this particular project. And coordination isn't really a discipline, and you can check, have a quick look at blog posting on that. I will show you a little bit later on discipline. But for the most part, look what you've got. You've got floor plans, color scheme, you've got floor plans, ceiling plans, elevations, etc. Okay, so we could go into here. We can either create and duplicate it from here, which is, yeah, I think that's actually the best way. So what you do is you go to a view type that you want to start with. So you open up a north elevation, okay? And then what you click in here to make this the properties, or this the active window. Then you say edit type. You see, it's going to be an elevation kind of type, and you're going to go in here and you're going to say duplicate, and we're going to say building elevation, or I'm just going to call it a part elevation or interior elevation, for instance. Okay, so hit OK. Now I have a part elevation, and then that is being applied in particular to this view. But now when I go back to any sort of floor plan and I go to create a new elevation view, okay, and I pick on there, I'm going to see that I have a building elevation and I have a part elevation. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different. Oh, and the looks like my elevation bubbles are turned off, so I've got a bit of a warning on there. Hit escape on there. So if I was to maybe go to a different, let's go to a regular floor plan and say elevation and use that as my type. Click over here, same thing, everything's turned off in this particular drawing. It's going in, but it's over here. It's turned off in the floor plan, same as in here. So that's just the category turned off. So and the extra step is to then apply a view template to that type. So now I have building elevation here, and I have all these little elevations I've been creating, those guys, and I can go shift click and just delete them. And there's my original, and if I pick on here, I can say okay, edit. Actually, I can pick it on here and say, sorry, you are building elevation, and of course it'll resort itself there. So now I have a new elevation view type, and I can then apply a view template to that. So that's just a quick opening lesson. We'll come back and talk a bit more about view types.